So, what almost everyone thought was going to happen, and some even feared was going to happen, happened. Cody Rhodes regained the undisputed WWE Championship. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean, and these are my assorted thoughts on the March 6th, 2026 WWE Smackdown from the city of Portland, Oregon. Now, I'm recording this March 11th, Wednesday. I've already seen Raw. I'm going to try and not let that affect what I'm saying about this too much. I'm going to save that for its own assorted thoughts. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and there's supposedly going to be an ice storm here in Montreal. Hopefully, don't lose power, and I get this recorded and out before we do, if we do. But I hope we don't. So I obviously this has been a few days, so I had to take notes for portions of it. I'm going to look at those notes, but I don't need my notes for the main through line. Well, first let's talk about what led up to the main event. Well, I mean, ultimately it was after Elimination Chamber. Nick Aldis said Drew had to face Cody, defend the championship. We started off with Randy Orton, the one whose path is clear. He did the exact kind of promo he should do, reference the legends, talk about how he's only main evented, I think, 2 of the several WrestleManias, like the 20 WrestleManias he's been in, kind of hinting that maybe it wasn't going to be a women's match as the main event. And obviously it's not going to be. It's going to be this is the night one main event, Randy versus Cody. But the promo was fine. He did what he had to do. I really like his new t-shirt, by the way, though. RKO everybody, very simple. I'm partially colorblind, look kind of blue. I might get that shirt. Really cool shirt. And Trick Williams came in seemingly out of nowhere, but he's on stage with the WrestleMania main eventer, the legend, and he takes an RKO. Doesn't hurt Trick at all, but it did take him out for the rest of the episode. So I think we kind of knew he wasn't going to interfere in the main event. We had a big through line with Sami Zayn making some very good points at Cody, and Cody just gets mad. Cody was looking more and more heelish because what Sami said was absolutely true. Of course, Sami crashed out at the end, and then Randy Orton said, I sometimes you got to be selfish. Sami's like, doesn't that make you a bad person? Well, it made me a 14-time world champion. Can't argue with that. And Randy told Sami, sometimes you got to listen to the voices in your head. Does that mean Sami's going to turn heel, or maybe eventually after WrestleMania, Cody's going to turn heel and Sami's going to face him? I don't know. I thought it meant Sami was going to interfere in the main event, but of course he didn't. Now, as for the main event match, I will go to my notes a little bit on this just to see if I popped on anything I maybe forgot about. The match itself was pretty solid. They exchanged moves. Cody did a Claymore. Drew did a Crossroads. They both got 2 counts for that. And of course, at one point there was a ref bump. With the ref bump, it kind of looked like it failed a couple of times, and Drew actually pulled Cody into the ref's path. There was a ref bump, but there was no victor. A new ref comes in, counts for Drew. And this was Dan Engler, the ref that Drew has a problem with. And Drew's angry at the 2 count when it legitimately was a 2 count, and gets in the ref's face. And that eventually turns the tide. The original, he basically knocks that ref out. There was a bit earlier on with a table where I guess the announce table broke. Drew was going to put Cody through the announce table, so Cody sets up an actual table and puts him through the table. Now, that should have been a disqualification because I don't think you're allowed to set up a table and put someone. You can put someone through the announce table because it's there, but you can't actually set up a weapon if it's in front of the referee if it's a no DQ match. But maybe Drew was trying to get himself disqualified. Honestly, the most logical thing, Drew didn't want this match. He told Nick Aldis as much. Aldis forced him into it. Why didn't he just get himself disqualified? Like maybe he was trying to, but the referee didn't bite. And eventually he tries to go for the title belt, but Jacob Fatu stops him. We hadn't seen Jacob all night, and he stops him, obviously setting up Drew versus Jacob at WrestleMania. And Cody with a super cutter crossroad. He misses the Claymore super cutter crossroads 1, 2, 3, and new undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Okay, now I kind of like the theory that this is what they were going for all along. They always knew they were going to go Cody versus Randy at WrestleMania, but they figured if they just had Cody keep the title, Randy win the chamber, it would have made things unexciting, uninteresting, because everybody knew where it was going. So instead of building a story between those two, when there already is a story and they could easily pick it up, they did this whole swerve with Drew as the champion, Cody trying to get into win the Royal Rumble, then the chamber, and eventually Randy wins the chamber and Cody gets the belt back, and we're going to where we go. Now, I'm still hoping for a multi-man match. I'm thinking the way you could do it, there's a contract signing next week. Maybe Randy and Cody both sign. They do their promos. Drew comes in, Claymores both of them, signs it. Jacob comes in, attacks Drew. He signs it. Then maybe Sami comes in, he signs it. He goes, hey, Trick, you want me to sign for you? Yes. And we have the six-pack challenge that we want. Now, the good thing about that, if it's a six-pack challenge, I think it's more of an opening match of all of WrestleMania on night one instead of the night two main event. So maybe we can get a women's match. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going with Cody versus Randy. We're going with Jacob versus Drew. And we're maybe going with Sami versus Trick. I don't know if I like that more or if I like Sami versus Discount Karrion Kross, a.k.a. Aleister Black. I mean, it's a bigger match against Trick, but Trick is obviously, it might be like a double turn or something like that if there are rumors of that being the plan. And Trick is definitely more over than Sami. I kind of want Sami. I still like him as a main event babyface, and I want him to win the championship as that. Maybe there will be a heel turn. If it is, it should be on someone like Cody, not on Trick. But you know what? That's still a prominent match on WrestleMania. If it's against Aleister Black, I mean, that's kind of, Sami's still the babyface, obviously, but it's not as compelling a match, I don't think. Call them Discount Karrion Kross for a reason. So, I mean, we might be setting up for something like that. But as far as the main event picture, as far as Cody, Randy, let's just assume it stays like this. Now, I think Cody might turn heel in the match. I mean, I know they sell a lot of merch and stuff like that, but this company has proven they don't mind turning their golden gooses heel if it works. I'm sure Randy's going to be more over than Cody anyways. Maybe they're going to try and turn Randy heel in the build-up, but even if they do, I don't think it's going to stick. Maybe Cody's going to retain the championship and turn heel. That's one way they can do it. Maybe some of these other people will run in. I am interested. I know some people really hate the fact that Cody has the title again. I didn't want to see Cody and Drew again. That would have been horrible because we've seen it so many times. Not because it was a bad match, but Cody versus Randy. I'm still way more interested in the other main event, the Roman and Punk, but Cody versus Randy, I'm fine with it. And if this is how they made it happen, so be it. And it was quite a good match. We still had the anticipated confrontation between WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill and Elimination Chamber winner Rhea Ripley. Anticipated because of a lot of the social media buildup. It didn't turn into any of that. It didn't really turn into a personal story like we have with Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan, or we have with an intense one with Roman Reigns and CM Punk. More on that later. More on that in previous videos. But it was just about like, you know, you got Rhea's like, you might have bigger muscles than mine, but your muscles are made for show. Mine are made for fighting. But you know what? I think that's what we kind of need. We don't really need the heated, like, personal rivalry that we don't really have, and we can't really build in just a few weeks. There obviously is going to be some tension. I think maybe they're setting up for Jade to get a little heel group with BFAB or something, maybe even Nietzsche next week. I don't know, because they're setting that up next week. But I think that maybe this is all that's needed, because the match itself is going to be great. And this is the story they're telling with this match. Yes, personal issues are really important, but you don't always need it, especially when you have Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. This on its own, on paper, this is going to be a match of two really strong women, and who is going to prevail. I think this was perfect. I think this was needed. I love the fact that Nia Jax and Lash Legend are going by the Irresistible Forces. Not that that's the greatest name, but just the fact that they have a tag team name. I think Charlotte and Alexa should be Charlexa, or the Allies of the Convenience. They should be introduced as that. As far as the celebration, I mean, when I saw the champagne glasses, I'm like, okay, champagne's going on someone. It didn't. We had the Allies of Convenience come down. We had Julia and Kiana James come down, and there was a match. And I'm glad that, I mean, I still want a multi-woman tag team thing to come out of this for WrestleMania, But I'm glad that the Allies of the Convenience won because they're the initial challengers, specifically because if Julia and Kiana are in some sort of like TLC match at Mania, that's great. But I hope that somehow, but if they are, I hope that Julia is not still the Women's U.S. Champion, because we have to get the Women's U.S. Championship on WrestleMania somehow. Moving along, we had the U.S. Open Challenge, Carmelo Hayes defending against, I was thinking, like, could it be Danhausen? Could it be Obafemi? We're talking about people all around the world requesting, and realized all around the world, no, it was from AAA, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Good way to get AAA talent on this show. He's also I believe the Latino American champion in AAA. And now I didn't think for a second he was going to win. Because yes, WWE talent have held AAA titles, but it goes that way. It hasn't gone the other way yet with AAA talent holding WWE titles. But it was still a good match. Good, U.S. Open defense. Good way to get him on the show. I just got to say, though, like, I understand, like, the Lucha tradition, but this guy has too many names. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. So the son of Dr. Wagner Jr. Shouldn't he just be Dr. Wagner? It's like there's son of, there's junior, and there's doctor. Like, shouldn't it be maybe Dr. Wagner the third or something like that? I don't. Anyways, that's just whatever. That's his name. It's a long name, but it was a good match. We also had the tag team turmoil match, and honestly, this was probably just to fill up a lot of time on the show. I did enjoy it. I didn't think the first few teams had a chance, and I'm glad that the Wyatts were taken out by the MFTs, just continuing that feud. But you know what? Damian Priest and R-Truth together as a team is the team I didn't know I needed. But now I'm so glad we have. I hope they win the tag team championships. Maybe they win it at WrestleMania. Maybe they have a match against the Usos to unite the championships. I don't know. You know what? This is a perfect use of Damian Priest, and I think he's going to be in a tag team with R-Truth at WrestleMania. It also gets R-Truth on WrestleMania. When R-Truth was with Miz, that was the last time he was fighting on WrestleMania, and that was great. I'm very happy for this, and I'm very happy that I was legitimately cheering for them. I'm glad they showed up last, and I'm glad they won Tag Team Turmoil. And speaking of The Miz, well, I really like the fact that Danhausen is now on both shows, and I like the fact that they're sort of pairing Danhausen with The Miz, at least on SmackDown, or they sort of hinted at that. If Miz doesn't go with him, The Miz is cursed, so maybe The Miz is going to go with him, try and train him. It's going to be Mizhausen or something like that. There's at some point they're going to put Danhausen and R-Truth in the room at the same time. I don't think they need that. I think they just Danhausen with The Miz on SmackDown and Danhausen with a bunch of other people on Raw. That's perfect for right now. Very happy to see that. And when Johnny Gargano came to the ring and said he was going to take on anyone, in the back of my mind, I was like, it's going to be Oba, isn't it? It's going to be Oba. And Oba came out, and to Johnny Gargano's credit, he actually tried to fight. But you know what? This is not what he needs for like bettering his situation. And again, we continue with Oba being like winning, but fighting serious like competitors on Raw and squashing comedy players or mid-carders on SmackDown. I don't know where Johnny Gargano is going to go from this. Maybe there's a whole character rebrand in the works after being put out by Oba, but at least I think this is stopping his lying around gimmick, or maybe it's just going to intensify it. Also, when Kit Wilson said that Ilya Dragunov was the one being toxic after The Miz told him he should just, take all his chances. If anything, what The Miz was suggesting was more toxic. I think that maybe Kit Wilson doesn't understand what toxic masculinity actually is. In fact, he thought Obafemi was toxic, but Obafemi is an Oba-feminist. But of course, maybe that's just the point. And these were my assorted thoughts on the March 6th, 2026 WWE Smackdown from Portland, Oregon. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you agree with my takes? What did you think about the main event and Cody once again being champion? Did you think that was going to happen? Are you like upset? I actually heard that online somebody paid like $150 to bots to downvote that the video of Cody winning the championship. I mean, there was an organic, massive downvoting of The Rock coming back, maybe to get Cody into the main event. Maybe this particular Cody hater thought he could do the same thing. I think it's insane. Well, let me know what you think in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Also, jasoncmclean.bsky.social on Bluesky. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications for all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, WWE Premium Live Event prediction and review videos, and assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown. I'll be back with my assorted thoughts on Raw. And until then, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.